Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the King Mighty King Media TV, and I'm your host, the Double OG Grill Boxing, Ted King. Today we're going to be talking about that 135-pound championship fight upcoming between Gervonta Tank Davis and Frank the Ghost Martin. This fight will be taking place on June the 15th. It will be for the WBA championship, lightweight championship of the world. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about this fight. This is going to be against two good athletes. Okay, so the Gervonta Tank Davis, of course, we know how athletic he is. He has a lot of power on both hands. And Frank the Ghost Martin, he as well is very athletic, and he does have sufficient enough power. And I'm assuming that both of these guys are going to be coming in and giving their all. And actually, right now, they should be working out real hard to get prepared for this fight, because trust me, this will be should be pretty much a dog fight. Okay, I'm going to say that for either of them to win, they will definitely have to overcome some challenges against one another. And so I'm looking for a fight that's going to be definitely strategic, at the same time very imposing of each other's wills. So, they're going to both impose their wills, try to Frank Martin is, of course, in his case, he's got to try and make this to be a dog fight. And of course, Gervonta Tank Davis will do the exact same thing. And one thing we haven't heard of or seen, Gervonta Tank Davis taking a lot of punishment. And so, not saying that he's going to take a lot of punishment in this fight either. This is boxing. So, of course, there's a certain amount of punishment that is handed out in the course of a fight. And we both, I should say, they both will experience this situation. They're both southpaws. Frank Martin, I believe, has a little bit longer reach. He does have a little longer reach, and he should be the bigger guy going into the fight. There's no rehydration clause. You hear a lot of talk about there was going to be a rehydration clause, but they taken that, they kind of put that in the back burner, I guess, for future fights for the championships, for the WBA championships, a rehydration clause. So that won't be the case in this case. So both fighters will be just getting on the scales and hydrating and going into the fight. So Frank Martin should in fact be the bigger fighter. I'll fight on fight night. And again, this will have to be. There's no question that Tank Davis is the more experienced fighter. In fact, in terms of explosiveness and fast twitch muscle, he is definitely the one that has those attributes. So Frank Martin, of course, he's still a talented person and a fighter, and of course he does have, he's pretty quick himself. But the key is here in this particular fight is going to be the jab. Which fighter will be able to establish the jab to be able to control the fight? Because again, these are two southpaws. And there's two southpaws fighters. So there's going to be definitely an adjustment that needs to be made, because of course it's not the same as a southpaw fighting an orthodox fighter, which most of them, in most cases, they're both used to fighting orthodox fighters. So this is going to be a fight where the person or the fighter who's going to take control of the fight will have to definitely take away someone's jab. And that's going to be the key to the fight, because when you look at them fighting out of the southpaw stance, then we have what is called right hooks involved instead of left hook. And we know that Tank Davis has a very good left hand. He's got a good left uppercut, left to the body, and a straight left. And that's his best punch. So it's going to be a little bit of an adjustment for him to actually get off in terms of on a counter, because he is definitely, Tank Davis is definitely, in my opinion, the top three of counter punches in the sport of boxing today. So that's another thing that Frank Martin will have to be cognizant of, and that's the adjustment he'll have to make in terms of offsetting that counter punching ability that Tank Davis has. And so how is he going to do it? Again, like I said before, the fighter who's able to take away the other person's jab is going to dictate the pace of the fight. And if that is not the case for Frank Martin, then he will definitely have to, and he doesn't do this very often, up tempo the fight. Okay, and he's more so a step back counter puncher. That's what he displays. He doesn't necessarily go inside, punch in between punches like Tank Davis does. Tank Davis, of course, like I said before, as we do all know, he's probably in the top three in the game of counter punches in the whole business of boxing today. But again, he's fighting a southpaw. So normally, he would be, if he was fighting an orthodox fighter, his counter would be get to the outside of a left hook or a jab, and of course come with a straight right, a straight left in his case, or a body shot, uppercut, I should say, with the left hand. So again, we have to take a look and see what's going to happen. But in my opinion, going into the fight, the adjustments that Tank Davis will have to make will be, of course, to establish a formidable right hook, as well as that going inside with the left uppercut or straight left to the head, and of course accommodate off of that. In Frank Martin's case, of course, he'll have to up-tempo the fight. Up-tempo the fight. But then up-tempo the fight means that he has to be cognizant of the combinations that are going to be coming back at him, and that's what he has to be worried about. Counter punching. Hit with combinations. And so, moving on to the fight. As the fight plays itself out, we'll have to see. But what I want to know is I want to know what you all think is going to happen in the fight. So what I appreciate is if down below, leave a comment. Tell me what you think is going to happen in the fight. Of course, we have some avid Gervonta Davis fans. And of course, we have probably some Frank the Ghost Martin fans as well. And again, we have to look at the process and how the process is laying out. One of the things we have to look at is the fact that they're fighting, and how the fight transpired in the first place. Well, we know this, that the fight is the Frank Martin team is being promoted by Earl Spence Jr. And of course, he has close ties with the PBC brand, and as well as Tank Davis. Well, although Tank Davis is a free agent, but what he does is he gets all his advice. He has Al Heyman as an advisor as to which fights and how to navigate through his career. So either way, both parties are coming together, right, under that PBC, not necessarily for them, or yeah, it is for them. They're all connected, okay? So that's how the fight was made in the first place. So understanding that, you have to figure that the PBC has, Al Hammond has given advised Tank Davis to take the fight, and of course Tank Davis is taking the fight, and of course we got Earl Spence Jr. Earl Spence Jr., who is the promoter for Frank Martin, who have close, and I do mean close ties with the PBC brand. Okay, so that tells you that this is a PBC fight, okay? It is being, without question, navigated by premier boxing champions, okay? So that's how the fight was made. That's the reason why, you know, when people started talking about, well, you know, Frank Martin was scared of Shakur Stevenson. Well, I don't know about that. I think that by Shakur Stevenson being with the top rank, you know, brand, that was probably the problem with making that fight. Until the next one, I'm Double OG Guru of Boxing, Ted King. Keep your hands up.